What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of J&D Sports Talk. We are back. This is the first of NFL week reactions, starting with week one. I already reacted to Cowboys and Eagles, Chiefs and Chargers in 2 videos, so you should go check those out. But now we're gonna react to the Sunday games schedule this week for content. Today, obviously, this week one reactions, we're gonna go over some stats, maybe a little bit of film. But then tomorrow we're gonna update our NFL power rankings, which have a lot of changes, obviously. And tomorrow we'll also react to the Monday night game. Wednesday, I'll think of a video idea, and then Thursday will be NFL Week 2 predictions. Friday we'll be reacting to Thursday's night game, and then also talking about college. But yeah, that's content outlook this week. I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, check out our TikTok and Twitch, and I hope you guys enjoy this episode. All right, so the first game we're going to talk about is a divisional battle in Atlanta. So just for the 1 o'clock games, I may have not seen a lot from them because obviously I'm watching the Carolina Panthers, but obviously during red zones, I try my best to go on red zone. I go through Twitter, TikTok, and I also watch highlights of every game so I could give you guys the best content possible. But Bucks get the win here, 23-20 over the Falcons. This seemed like a good game. It was back and forth. I think it was Atlanta at first. And then Tampa Bay kind of snuck back. And then they took the lead. Falcons missed a opportunity to tie it with Younghoe missing that field goal. But for the Bucks, Baker Mayfield, 53 completion percentage. He threw 3 touchdowns, 167 yards. He also had 39 on the ground. Bucks run game wasn't productive besides Baker. But bro, I did not want the Bucks. I did not want the Bucks to get Emeka Egbuka, but they did. Unfortunately, he had 4 receptions for 67 yards and 2 touchdowns. Right behind him was Mike Evans, 5 catches, 51. Bucky Irving caught a touchdown. And then for Atlanta, Michael Penix seemed to do good. 27 for 42, 298 yards, a touchdown, 93 rating. Baker had a 99. Tyler Algier had 10 carries, 24. Falcons' run game wasn't productive. I'm not sure why Bijan only ran the ball 12 times, but he did. Michael Penix scored a touchdown, but Bijan was really, really good in the receiving. 6 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown. His touchdown was really nice. I seen that. Put the speed on. Kyle Pitts finally had a good game. Drake London, 8 catches, 55. Yeah, this game seemed good. Divisional battle, obviously, in Atlanta. And then if you look at the defensive stats, most tackles was, I believe that's, Tyke Smith, followed by Zion McCollum. Bucks didn't generate any interceptions. And there's no... Oh, there's sack. Okay, it's the last number. Hassan Reddick had a sack. So they only got to Michael Penix once. Oh my gosh. Compared to Atlanta, I think they got to Baker a few times, right? A half. No, only one. All right. Both quarterbacks were only sacked once. No interceptions. So this was a clean game turnover-wise. But the Bucks get the job done against their rival, Atlanta. So I don't know how this looks, but I just want to show you guys my record for this week in predicting games. I went 10-5, which isn't bad. For the most part, that's obviously above 500, which is good. Definitely could have been better though. Eagles correct, Chargers right, Bengals right. This one I was 50-50 on. I wanted the Colts to win, but I picked the Dolphins. But we'll talk about that. Talk about this one too, but it was 50-50. Commanders, Cardinals, Steelers. I picked the Falcons because they were home. I thought it was kind of 50-50. Close game. We don't talk about it. Denver, San Francisco, Green Bay, and then Rams 4 for 4 on the 4 o'clock games. And then I picked the Ravens, which who should have won because they had a 15-point lead with 4 minutes left, but they didn't. And then tonight I have the Vikings. So let's go back to breaking down every game. All right, moving on to the Battle of Ohio. We got the Cincinnati Bengals going to Cleveland to take on the Browns. 17-16 win for the Bengals over the Browns. This kind of seemed like a boring game. um, Definitely wasn't the most high scoring game, which I expected this one to be kind of lower because the Bengals start slow and the Browns aren't a good team. But Joe Burrow threw a touchdown, 113. Chase Brown ran one in. T. Higgins, 3 catches, 33. Noah Fant caught a touchdown, his first with the Bengals. Joe Flacco threw 45 passes, although 31 were completed. 290 yards, 2 picks, a touchdown. I didn't think Raheem Sanders would be the first touchdown of Cleveland's season, but he was. Harold Fannin Jr. did really well. A player I said to watch. 7 catches, 63. Jerry Jeudy led, though. 5 catches, 66. Cedric Tillman caught the touchdown from Flacco. And then defensively, B.J. Hill had a sack. Trey Hendrickson had a sack. Cincinnati, I thought they'd get to the quarterback more. They had an interception. Jordan Battle, surprisingly, how bad he was. DJ Turner. And then for Cleveland, McGuire had a sack. That was it. Interceptions, no interceptions. Joe Burrow doesn't throw many of those. But this seemed like a typical week 1 game for the Bengals and a Browns game. I was right about that game. But boy, was I righter about the Dolphins. I said they were not going to be a good football team this year. I said they're going to be one of the worst. I didn't think they'd do it week 1, though, but they proved me right out the gate. Terrible game by the Dolphins. They were down 30-0 to the Daniel Jones-led Colts. Tua was terrible. 2 picks, 1 touchdown. A-Chain had a good day, 8 yards a carry. Devin A-Chain caught the touchdown. He was the only bright spot offensively. And then Daniel Jones, what a day. 22 for 29, 272 yards, 115.9 rating. He threw a touchdown, but he ran for 2. 7 carries, 26 yards. But Jonathan Taylor, 18 for 71. DJ Giddens right behind him. Michael Pittman, great game. 6 catches, 80 yards, a touchdown. Tyler Warren, my guy, 7 catches, 76. That's a good game. The Colts kicked ass at home. What a way to start the season. Right now they have the 1 seed. So let's see if that carries over. But I said I had a gut feeling that Daniel Jones was going to lead the Colts to a Sam Darnold Vikings-like season. And I'm not going to take a victory lap because it's week 1, but boy, that's what happened today or yesterday. Now we talk about the Panthers game, which I am not happy about, not one bit. There were only a few good players for us yesterday, and that is Mr. Chuba Hubbard, Teteroa McMillan. Tershawn Warren wasn't bad. Trayvon Moehrig and J.C. Horn. Other than that, the team was shit. Bryce Young, 18 for 35, 154, touchdown to 2 picks. Chuba Hubbard, 16 carries, 57 yards. Teteroa McMillan was the leading receiver, 5 catches, 68. Chuba Hubbard caught a touchdown in garbage time. Meanwhile, for Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, 19 for 31, 178, touchdown and a pick. J.C. Horn, one-hander, good pick. Trevor Etienne had a really good day, 16 carries, 143 yards. And then Brenton Strange led the team. Travis Hunter, 6 catches, 33. Brian Thomas Jr. only had 1. And then defensively, Moehrig led the team in tackles with Christian Roseboom. Carolina got no sacks. Yep, no sacks. J.C. Horn had a nice pick. That was a good pick. And then for Jacksonville had Smoot had a sack. And I think that was it. That was the only sack. And then interceptions. Forsythe had 1, and Jordan Lewis had 1. Not a good day for my Panthers. I hope we're better than this because that was a bad game. But I already talked about this, and it is what it is. Let's bounce back against our son, the Cardinals. Keep pounding. All right, next up, we have the Raiders going to New England to take on the Patriots. I got this game wrong. I picked the Patriots. It was kind of 50-50 to me, like I said. But Geno Smith did really good. 362 yards, a touchdown, an interception. Gentry scored a touchdown. Brock Bowers had over 100 yards. Jacoby Myers was just short of 100. Dante Thornton had two nice catches. One of them was 36 yards. Drake May, 287. Could have done better. A couple of throws that I've seen that should have been better, but touchdown and a pick. Travion Henderson, I wish they kind of ran with him more. Not Stevenson. And then wide receivers, Keyshawn Booty had a really good game. 6 catches, 103. Hunter Henry right behind him. Stephon Diggs behind him. This Douglas caught the touchdown. This seemed like a good game, though. Kind of a dogfight, but ultimately the Raiders get the win. Looking at the defensive side of things, Raiders got a lot of sacks here. Won by Max Crosby, Kuntz, Lelu, and Tyree Wilson, 4 sacks. And the interception was Isaiah Palomeo. Defensively for the Patriots, Hawkins had a sack. Harold Landry had 2.5. Kavion Chassion had a half sack. Yeah, so that was a good game. Like I said, 50-50. I think those two teams are even. That's a good game to start the season. Same exact score here with the Cardinals and the Saints. Kyler Murray, 21 for 29, 163. He threw 2 touchdowns. Nothing crazy for Kyler, but efficient performance. Gotta respect it. Marvin Harrison Jr., though, had a really good day. 5 catches, 71 yards, and a touchdown. Trey McBride right behind him. James Conner caught the touchdown. And then defensively for Arizona, let's see who had sacks. Browning had a sack. And then interceptions, nobody had a pick. Spencer Rattler, terrible completion percentage, 214 yards, a lot of checkdowns. Kamara scored a touchdown on 11 attempts, 45 yards. Juwan Johnson, 8 catches, 76. Chris Olave, 754. Yeah, this game was expected. If the Cardinals lost this game, it would have been really concerning, but they're going to lose next week, so we're fine. What a game this was. Steelers and Jets. This was candidate for game of the week until we saw the Sunday night game, which I'll talk about. Aaron Rodgers, really good game. He wanted to beat everybody associated with the Jets, as he said. 22 for 30, 244 yards, 4 touchdowns, 136.7 rating, 11 attempts, 37 for James Warren. DK Metcalf, 4 catches, 83. Kevin Austin scored a touchdown. Ben Skronik, Jalen Warren, Jonnu Smith had touchdowns. And then, defensively, Alex Highsmith had a sack. It's hard to sack Justin Fields, though. Interceptions, there were none. Justin Fields, 16 for 22, 218 yards, a touchdown. Breece Hall, 19 carries, 107 yards. Good day for him. Justin Fields ran 2 in. Garrett Wilson, 7 catches, 95 yards, and a touchdown. I had Garrett Wilson on my bench. Yeah, not good for me. Quincy and Quinnen, both with a sack. Will McDonald had 2. Jets got a lot of sacks in this one. They had 3. They had 1, 2, 3, 4. They had 4. 4 sacks for the Jets. Steelers' offensive line is still concerning, but the Steelers had a good game, and the Jets had a good game. Giants and Commanders, no offense for the Giants whatsoever, especially passing. Commanders got the job done. Russell Wilson, 45 completion percentage, which is obviously terrible. 168 yards. He also was the leading rusher, 8 attempts, 44 yards, ahead of Tyrone Tracy. Malik Neighbors, 5 catches, 71. Defensively for the Giants, let's see, Brian Burns had 2 sacks. Abdul Carter and Kayvon Thibodeau both had half a sack, so that's 3 sacks for the Giants. And then for the Commanders, 19 for 30, 233 yards for Jaden Daniels, throwing a touchdown. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, a player I told you guys to watch. 10 carries, 82 yards, and a touchdown. Great game for him. Deebo Samuel, 7 catches, 77 yards. Zach Ertz, 3 catches, 26 yards. Good day for everybody on that Commanders team for the most part. Defensively, Armstrong had a sack. Deron Payne had a sack. And then, so that's 2 sacks for the Commanders. No picks. But Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, I told you guys, he's going to be a really good football player for the Washington Commanders. Moving on, we got the Tennessee Titans going to Denver to take on the Broncos. This was a really, really bad game for the Titans, and I'm not putting the blame on Cam Ward. This kid's going to be a star in the NFL. He's going to be a really good football quarterback. Um, yeah, but the team around him wasn't great. A lot of drops, stuff like that. I mean, Tony Pollard was a receiving leader, and he had one catch. Not much to talk about with this Tennessee team, but Cam Ward does look good, though. Don't let the score and the box score fool you. Bo Nix, Denver's offense didn't look good. Denver had 4 turnovers and won this game. So this game was ugly. But Cortland Sutton scored a touchdown. J.K. Dobbins scored a nice touchdown. Other than that, nothing going offensively. Defensively, Tennessee, Jeffrey Simmons had a sack. And the interception was Roger McCreary and Xavier Woods. Defensively for Denver, no picks, but a lot of sacks. Chernad had a sack. Bonito had a sack. Cooper, Ellis, McMillan, Allen. A lot of sacks here for Denver's defense. But I feel bad for Cam Ward. This game was not his fault. His team is just not great, and they played arguably the best defense in the NFL. Niners 17-13 win over Seattle. I got this game right. I went 4 for 4 in the 4 o'clock window, 3 o'clock in some people's timing. But Brock Purdy, 26 for 35, 277, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. McCaffrey had a good day. Ricky Pearsall over 100 yards. Good job to him. George Kittle and Tons in his first career catch caught touchdown. Sam Darnold, 16 for 23, 150. Zach Charbonnet ran a touchdown in 12 attempts, 47. Jason had a really good day in my fantasy starting lineup. 9 catches, 124 yards. Defensively, Nick Bosa had a sack. And then no interceptions. Defensively for Seattle, Ernest Jones had a pick and Job had a pick. Julian Love had a sack. That was it. This game seemed all right, but kind of low scoring. Niners got the win. I wasn't really surprised with the result. The Packers had their way against Detroit. Detroit's first game. My message to Detroit fans, don't overreact. This could have went a lot worse. First game with 2 new coordinators. Wait 4 or 5 games before you panic. It's a long season. You're good, okay? Jared Goff, 31 for 39, 225, a touchdown and a pick. No run game available. Sam Laporta, 6 catches, 79 yards. Isaac Tesla, really, really good catch. Can you, just get the film from right here? Or does it? No. But that was a really good catch from Isaac Tesla. Really good. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. 16 for 22, 188, 2 touchdowns for Jordan Love. Josh Jacobs had the touchdown. Romeo Dobbs, 2 catches, 68 yards. Jaden Reed had a touchdown. Tucker Kraft had a touchdown. Defensively for Detroit, they had no sacks, no picks. Defensively for Green Bay, it was different. Williams had a pick, but the sacks, Green Bay had a couple. Rashawn Gary, 1.5. Lucas Van Ness, and a half. Wyatt had a sack. And Micah Parsons in his debut had a sack for Green Bay. Moving on to Texans and Rams. This was an absolute defensive dogfight. CJ Stroud, 19 for 27, 188 yards. Nick Chubb had a good day, 13 for 60. Jaden Higgins, 2 catches, 32 in his debut. And then for the Rams offense, 21 for 29, 245, a touchdown, which the Rams are my Super Bowl pick, like I've said. Kyren Williams, 1866, and a touchdown. Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams were really good, especially Puka. 10 catches, 130. Devontae Adams, 4 catches, 51. Allen caught a touchdown. Defensively for Houston, Will Anderson Jr. had a sack. Henry To'oTo'o had a sack. Fatoski had a sack. And then no picks. Defensively for the Rams, Byron Young had a sack. McLaughlin had a sack. Davis had a sack. Kobe Turner didn't. I don't know why I was reading it wrong. But no interceptions, no turnovers for these quarterbacks in this game. But this was a dogfight defensively. It wasn't a bad game. but the best game, candidate for game of the year, Ravens and Bills. Bills with the comeback win, 41-40. What a game. Lamar Jackson, 14 for 19, 209 yards, 2 touchdowns. Derrick Henry, what a game. 18 carries, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns. Lamar ran one in. He had 6 carries, 70 yards. Zay Flowers started him in fantasy. Great game. 7 catches, 143 and a touchdown. D-Hop caught a nice one-handed touchdown. Go check that out. Defensively for the Ravens, Matabike had a sack, and that was it. No interceptions. A couple near interceptions. But Josh Allen, 33 for 46, 394 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also ran 14 carries, 30 yards. James Cook ran one in. Keon Coleman had a breakout game. 8 catches, 112 for a touchdown. Dalton Kincaid caught a touchdown. Defensively, Ed Oliver had a sack. Matt Milano had a sack. And the Bills had no picks. This was a really, really good game. If you didn't see the comeback, go check it out. The Ravens were up. It was 40-25 with like 4 minutes left. And the Bills, Derrick Henry fumbled the ball. They scored. Then they stopped the Ravens again. Then they took the clock down and scored again. How about Matt Prater, though? Kicking debut for the Bills. Awesome, man. Good debut for him. We'll have to wonder if they keep him as the kicker when Tyler Bass comes back. But Bills dropped 22 in the fourth quarter. What a game. This is early candidate for game of the year, and it's week 1. What a banner we got to start the season. But I hope you guys enjoyed week 1 of the NFL season. I know I certainly did. A lot of close games. Panthers, please do better. Other than that, though, let's count how many one-score games there were, because there were a lot, okay? Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 one-score games. That is insane for week 1, man. And I bet tonight is going to be a one-score game. I think the Vikings will squeak one out. Let me know in the comments below who's going to win tonight. Let me know if you're celebrating Victory Monday and how your team did. How excited are you for the season? And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.